Hello, extraordinaries, and welcome to another episode of the High Performance Consciousness Podcast. My name is Matthew Paddy, and again, I will be your host for today's episode. Today's episode is all around evolution, evolutionary results in your life. So let me put it this way and just stage this episode first with these 3 points and see which one you relate to most right now. Because remember, everything is energy and nothing is fixed. Everything is changing regardless of your perception of it changing or not. All right. So the 3 levels of evolution. Let's fix our attention on one area of your life. And I'll let you decide what area that is right now. Okay, that area where you feel maybe contraction, maybe you feel things have slowed down, or that you're oscillating with results, or maybe you're not getting the results that you want at all and you're going backwards. So the first level of evolution is devolution. So quite often you'll see this occurring when people give up. They'll start to devolve in their habits, in their beliefs, in their behavior, the way that they think and feel towards themselves and towards their reality and what is possible for them. So it often is a case that I've given so much attention to try and change, or I've arrived at a point where I no longer believe that change is possible or positive change is possible for me, so I give up. And in giving up, we surrender to the shadow. We surrender to the polarized view of, or one side of ourselves, that I'm not worth it. It's not worthy of pursuing this goal because I never attract anything that I want or get the results that I want in my life. So I give up. I don't deserve it. So the devolving is I surrender myself to the shadow, and maybe it's making poorer lifestyle choices. Maybe it's having an increased negative mindset or negative feelings towards yourself or towards others. Maybe it's doing nothing and trying to unconsciously affect the world around you by doing nothing, by staying in the old state of mind. Eventually, you'll see people around you starting to evolve. They will make some different decisions, maybe some different behavior choices. Maybe they'll start to think, act, and feel differently, and there might be resentment around that, or even loneliness or increased degree of separation or perception of separation, that they're getting ahead and they deserve it and they're better than me and they'll get what they want. So that is devolving. The next part is revolving. And we've all been there, where you revolve like a tape playing in the old cassette player or a CD that doesn't go to the next song. It doesn't go to the song before it. It just plays the same song over and over and over again, like Groundhog Day, or as famously and humorously placed in the 40-Year-Old Virgin, the movie. So it drives us insane to the point where we just are running this loop. We're running this pattern, this cycle consistently. We are revolving around a certain outcome and a repeated outcome that no longer stimulates us to grow. Well, actually, it is stimulating us to grow, but it's stimulating lots of frustration at the beginning. And maybe it is the precipice of whether we're going to choose to devolve or evolve. So when we are in a cycle or revolving door, we are thinking the same way all the time, feeling the same way, behaving the same way, taking the same actions, making the same types of decisions. Not making a decision is still an action, is still a decision. Just remember that. So when you think about and feel about and act about your preferred reality, if you are not changing what you are doing and what you are being, then you cannot expect a new reality to be experienced, because you are not expressing that new reality through your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings. Does that make sense? So we've all been there too. Now the next level is evolving. So evolving is part of the natural cycle of the animal kingdom and the human kingdom. Okay? Everything evolves in its own time. Just because you plant a seed in a certain part of the soil does not mean with watering and love and attention that it is going to grow. However, persistence helps you to learn and receive information back that can help the seed to grow, to flourish, and to be harvested, i.e. the results. So when you are evolving, you are essentially looking at how you think, how you act, and how you feel towards yourself, towards your desires, towards your preferred experiences, and therefore projecting them into the outer world more and more consciously. So when you're projecting, you have that awareness that now my new thoughts, my new feelings, and my new actions are being projected into the outer world from my inner world. You are learning as if through the eyes of a child. You are learning new things, viewing new things. You're constantly changing. You are evolving. Does it mean that it's easy? No. The process of evolution is hard by nature, because in order to grow, we must shed old skins, old patterns, old beliefs, old habits, old functions within the body, within the neural system and the biology and our energy system that has produced the old results. Does that make sense? Now, let me give you a quick example, a real life example. And you may have heard in the background noise to this recording as I go back and listen to the first part, is that there's the good old blower outside. Now, if you've watched JP Sears and Why Everyone Loves a Blower, it's quite hysterical, and it's a running theme with my inner circle of how much I love that noise. Not at all. So and I laugh because it is a perfect case in point that it's Monday morning. It's 7:50 in the morning. Now, I know that they showed up last week at the same time. So if I go to record my podcast episodes on Monday morning at this time, and I stack 3 or 4 in a row to record, and I've got those guys in the background cleaning up all the pavement in front from all the leaves, and I start getting annoyed by it. I start getting frustrated. Guess what happens? I'm either running a pattern, so I'm revolving, or I'm starting to devolve. So I'm revolving around making the same decisions by doing my podcasts on a Monday morning when these guys are going to produce challenges through noise in the background, and this constant agitation starts to rise in me. And I laugh about it because it's real. It's a real thing. So the devolving part of it is if I get frustrated and I allow myself to give up doing the podcast, or I don't stick to my plan. So the evolving aspect is change to another time, Matt. Do it on a weekend, or do it on another day that is not Monday at 7:30 to 8 a.m. in the morning, where everyone else is just casually rolling through their morning, walking along the river, having their waking up coffee, all that sort of thing. And here comes the blower guys. Ridiculous. So that's just a little humorous side note, but I thought it was really relevant, and I'll decide to leave the blower noise in the background. I apologize for that, but that will not happen again, as best to my knowledge, or as best as I can make happen. All right. So let's move forward on the podcast and talking about devolving, revolving, and evolving. A really simple exercise is to help you identify where you are devolving, revolving, or evolving in your life, is choose one area of your life. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, choose one area and be really frank with yourself. So you've got 3 columns. On the left-hand side, you've got devolving. Middle column, revolving. Far right, evolving. And at the top, of course, you can title the page the particular area of your life that you're focusing on, whether it's finances or health or relationship, whether it's about your business, the attraction of clients, the maintaining of clients, the marketing, whatever it's going to be. Okay. So now I want you to be really honest with yourself and to observe the current reality that you are experiencing in this area of your life. Write down everything that you feel is devolving. What's going backwards? What decisions are you not making that you used to make, that are not progressing you, not leading you to a higher state of awareness or advantage? Unpack all of those. Then go and say, what are the aspects that are revolving? I continually repeat these cycles, attracting this type of client, attracting no clients, this type of relationship, these types of feelings, all these sorts of things. So you can break each column up into an outer world and an inner world, but that's potentially for another conversation. So what you're observing is, and writing down, is everything that you observe outside of you and within the self as what is devolving, not changing, going backwards, getting worse. What is revolving, what's staying the same and producing frustration or apathy, all that seed of growth, like the pumpkin seed that gets pressed between your index finger and your thumb and ready to just get squeezed out on a new trajectory. Then on the third column, far right, what am I evolving? What is evolving in this area of my life? My thoughts? Am I starting to read new information? Am I starting to follow new guidance? Am I listening to this podcast as an example, or other ones as well? Am I surrounding myself with new types of people, new types of conversation? Am I learning new things? All right. So once you've done that, then you can look at the snapshot. And essentially, it's a decision. What you can see, you can act upon and make decisions upon. What you cannot see, you cannot make decisions upon consciously. So I encourage you to do this for all areas of your life, regardless of when it arises, but do it anyway. Okay? That's my encouragement for you. So really, part of it evolving is the willingness to learn something new. Willingness to learn something new. So having the mind of a child, the mind of the student, is that everything is new. So when I'm learning new information, I'm only learning it from a point of conception until I understand it. When I understand what I'm learning, then I apply it. And only through the application of knowledge, what I've come to understand, does wisdom occur. So when you think about understanding, under is underpinning, it's foundation. So do you fully understand what you are learning until you apply it? Chances are no. So knowledge is transferred into wisdom when it has become a foundation or a foundational pillar or a keystone to the results that you are currently experiencing, or the new results that you're starting to experience. Okay, so that's the evolutionary cycle. If we don't learn anything, we repeat the same. Nothing new in, nothing new out. If I am learning new ways to undermine myself, then I start to enter back into shadow and I devolve. If I'm looking for a new foundation and the underwriting of my new reality, then I am learning and absorbing and acquiring new skills, new knowledge consciously, because I've made a decision that this new knowledge, these new skills lead and will lead me to the fulfillment of my desires. So this is where a lot of people, most people on the planet, get hooked up, because they don't understand that it's a giant jigsaw piece, giant jigsaw puzzle. The game of life, the game of business is a choose your own adventure. So if you know you want this particular outcome and it feels great, it looks great, and your desire is piqued around producing and experiencing that result, then go about curating and choosing all the pieces that make up that end reality, that preferred reality, and allow all the pieces that no longer are required or that do not fit in that new reality to be pruned away. Because part of evolving is the neurological evolution, or the evolution of our brains, the evolution of our body, the evolution of our energetic system. Because when we are learning new information and applying that information, we gain a greater understanding, which is transferred and experienced as wisdom. So your brain gets upgraded by learning new things. And that's why you'll hear me refer to the 72-hour rule a lot. When you learn something new, invest in it for 72 hours, where you are producing new neurons and you are wiring and firing new networks within the brain and within the physiology of the body, so that you are starting the process of building a new network. New networks produce new results. Old networks, old results. Make sense? So I will do another episode on the pruning, or neurological pruning and energetic pruning and those sort of things as well, because of all the years I've been working with private clients and in group masterminds, one question that comes up a lot, and it's expressed more as a concern, is as I'm growing, as I'm evolving, I'm noticing my friends, my family, my colleagues, the same conversations no longer interest me, to the point at the start of the change, at the start of the pruning, resistance and frustration starts to come up. Noticing that at some point? This is all part of the pruning of neurons. It's the pruning of energy in the quantum field, because you are emitting a new signature that is based on new information that is being applied and understood and transferred into wisdom as knowing, and you are observing that the old self connected to old relationships, old conversations, old ways of thinking and talking and feeling and being are starting to be pruned away. Now, just on that, do you need to do anything to help that process or to speed the process up? No. Focus on your journey. Focus on those three columns or those three pillars, and observe what is devolving, what is revolving, and what is evolving in each and every area of your life. All right? And then go about carefully selecting the information, the people, the actions, the thoughts and feelings that align with your preferred reality. And in doing so, you will basically master your reality by being the curator of your own reality, a conscious curator rather than an unconscious follower of your old self, your old thoughts, your old feelings, your old behaviors, your old network, neurologically and physically, your old network of relationships and conversations. All right? So I've gone a little bit deeper on the end here to pique your interest, because this pruning is a neurological event. It is a quantum event at the same time. And that is why when you start to change, your world changes, so does the people in your life. They change as well. And you may want people to come with you and to evolve with you. There are two levels to that. One is at the level of wave, and one is at the level of particle. One is at the level of energy, one is at the level of matter. So by you focusing on your evolution, you inevitably help other people evolve by making new decisions, new thoughts, new behaviors, new feelings, and new actions. You are helping them do that through the observation of what you are becoming. Do you need to go to them and bring them along for the journey, or tie them up and throw them in the back of your wagon and have them struggle and resist all the way along? No. Everyone has their own time. Every seed grows in its own time. All right? So I'll leave you just to ponder that. Go back and listen to the first three parts of this. And please, forgive the blower, guys. Sounds a bit sus, but essentially I will not be doing Monday morning podcast recording until after 8 a.m. That's my lesson. I'm dedicated to evolving, and I'm dedicated to helping you do the same. All right, from me here to wherever you are in the world, dream a better dream. Remember, it's all you, baby. See you in the field.